Well, I thought early on, I thought we had a good burst out of the locker room. I thought our transition was excellent. I thought defensively we were doing a good job of disrupting them, turning them over, and that's what got us out in transition. Obviously that changed, and the momentum shifted. I think we started out 6 for 7 and then finished the half off 3 for 20. Missed some good looks, and I thought, once the ball stopped going in the hoop, defense wasn't as good. And I thought we pressed to try to get it all back, get that momentum all back at once, and the ball movement wasn't where it needed to be. And then second half, obviously they came out, they were hot, they were confident. Give them credit for for the way they came in here with their mentality. But it's an opportunity now, and we got to bounce back in a big way on Thursday and have 2 good days of preparation for this game on Saturday and find a way to get this one behind us. A very disappointing loss, but you got to find a way in this business to get over it and put it behind you and get ready for the next one, which is a heck of a team we're going to be playing on Saturday.
You talked about wanting to see how this team responded to adversity. Obviously, this was a pretty good taste of it. What did you see during the game, and maybe what jumped out to you as kind of concerns?
Yeah, that is the thing that ultimately, will tell you what kind of group you have is when that adversity hits and in a real game setting. And, you could use the excuse of, well, we got so many new faces and new players, we're not going to do that. We got outplayed today. And, we're going to find a way to bounce back with effort and preparation. That's all we can do right now moving forward. But, we're going to take every opportunity, whether we win or whether we lose, to learn from it and grow from it. And, the adversity hit us in a huge way tonight. And you talk to your guys till you're blue in the face. It's going to hit you every time you step on the floor. And, what will define you will be how you handle it. We didn't handle it well tonight.
Well, Fred, you've been around this team now for quite some time. I mean, what's your level of surprise that something like that happened tonight?
Well, again, you don't really know until you go through it. And, now that we've been through it, we got to figure a way to get back out there and find a way to battle through it better. And, you try to put them in as many of those situations as you can in practice, and it just doesn't simulate this type of action, this type of game experience when you're out there. So, it's all about going back, watching the film, getting on the floor, making corrections, and hopefully come out with a good effort on Saturday.
Were you pleased with your looks from distance?
I thought early on, we had some really good looks. Kevin Cross has been shooting it really well in practice. He had a lot of they were just backing off of him. It's frustrating when you have those looks, obviously, and they don't go in. We missed the free throws. We had a chance, I think, to go up 12 or 13 points early in the game had we made our free throws. So it could have been a completely different game. If a couple of those go in, if you make your free throws, you keep that momentum. But it didn't happen. And then they became the confident team and stepped up and made the shots. In the end, you got to give them credit for that.
How much was three-point defense an emphasis for you guys going in, and how would you assess how you guys performed with that?
Well, the big guy's a load. He's 4 inches taller or 5 inches taller than anybody on our roster. So, we knew they were going to play through him. He's a good player. He's a good decision maker down there. And they got it going. I mean, they hit him from every which way. They'd hit it off a deflection. They'd hit it off last second on the shot clock. But once they got momentum, they controlled the tempo. And that's what you have to do, in a game like this. You got to hopefully keep the tempo and the momentum on your side, and we did not do that.
It seemed like you guys were defending with pretty high energy, though, but it seemed like it was for 29 seconds of the shot clock. Was it frustrating to see some of those drop when you put together a good defensive possession like that?
Yeah, it was very frustrating. It was very frustrating to have that happen. And, I think we forced 18 turnovers, but, you got to defend all the way through. I think they got 13 offensive rebounds on us as well. So, you got to find a way to finish off the possession, because when we do get that ball off the rim, we're pretty effective in transition. When we didn't do that, we were not a very efficient team tonight.
You can kind of sense the momentum shifting. What do you try and do to try and get into them? And did you see any reaction?
Well, you try to calm them down. You try to go over there. At times, you try to pick them up. If you see them with their head down, and to try to go out there and take it one possession at a time. I know that's a cliche in all sports, but that's the reality of the situation. When you dig yourself a hole like we did, you have to go one possession at a time. You can't go out there and press, and you have to trust what you're doing and what we've been doing as far as building those habits up, and then go out and hopefully it's second nature. But again, it's that momentum's a big thing in this game. Momentum, and once they got it, they kept it, and they played with a lot more confidence.
You said one of the first things you mentioned in the locker room was the lack of just communication. You know, guys were kind of not talking on the bench and rallying each other up to kind of get out of that funk. Is that something that, with just the makeup of this team, can only be learned as you play more games together?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we've talked about is, it's going to take situations like this to really figure out who we are and what we have and who's going to lead through the tough times. And, I think Hanif is as good as we have. He's been through experiences like this. He's played in the NCAA tournament. He and Derek, I think, are the only two that have done that. So, we need to have that leadership in the huddles. When the coaches are out there meeting and trying to go out there and make the adjustment, those players got to find a way to stick together through that. And, again, I'm confident we'll do it. I like our group. I like our guys. We're going to bounce back. I know that. They're going to come in with a good attitude on Thursday. And, again, we're going to need 2 good days of prep.
Seemed like there was a bunch of pretty good looks at the basket that just didn't go. I guess not finishing. What would you attribute that to?
That's a great question. We just, again, that confidence is a funny thing in this game. When you have it, that rim, seems like the ocean. When not, the thing looks like a little thimble up there. And with, the lack of free throw, I think we were 50. We went 1 for 2, I think, on our first 5 or 6 trips to the stripe. And then you missed some good open looks, and then that carried over to the restricted area. So, again, I'm confident we'll get those things going. We'll adjust. We'll get back to work, and I'm like I said, I'm confident this group will come out and play with great effort on Saturday.
Is there a parallel in your mind that pops into your mind when you think about your time in Chicago to the time like tonight?
Not really.